I understand and have sympathy for Anthony Davis. All right. I understand and have sympathy for him. He's from Chicago. He grew up there. He wasn't a great player growing up because he was small and he was a ball handler. And then he grew and grew and grew and grew and became this unbelievable player at Kentucky, where as a freshman, he led them to a national championship. And then he got drafted by the Pelicans and eventually got traded to the Lakers, a move that his agent and now teammate pushed for. He wanted the big market. He wanted the bright lights. He wanted the big city. He wanted the Lakers. The Lakers were one of the few teams listed as, hey, trade me there. And then, of course, he went back and like, well, no, you can trade me anywhere, 29 other teams. Which, by the way, like, really? You'd be traded to any place except stay in New Orleans? Like, that was disingenuous. But I understand when you're asked questions about your hometown, you want to say things are better there than anywhere else. Right? Things that you can count on from human beings. Everyone grew up poor. Right? There's not anybody who goes, no, I grew up actually super rich. Yeah, we had like a housekeeper, nanny. It was super easy. I did like nothing. Chores? Pfft. I don't even know. No. We ate great. Right? It just, I had self-discipline, but I had a trainer when I was like 8, everyone grew up poor if you ask them. How'd you grow up? Everyone is lower middle class to dead broke. Right? That's the old, I walked to school in a foot of snow, uphill, both ways. Things you can count on, everyone grew up broke. Everyone was awkward in middle school. I guess everyone's awkward in middle school, but if everyone's awkward, is it really awkward? And your hometown is better than any other place. Oh yeah, here's another one. Your fans, the best fans ever. We have the best fans of anybody in the entire country. That's funny. The other guy said that about his fans. How's that possible? Said about the last place you're at? Like things you can count on also. Coaches, I'm never leaving. Dream job. Dream school. We say these things and they don't. So when he says that he believes that Chicago is the mecca for basketball, like, ain't. Now, I think Chicago does have a plethora of basketball talent. I also think, much like politics, it's known as one of the dirtiest basketball cities in the country, one that a lot of their star players of the past were bought and sold. But in the present day, you do have a Derrick Rose who was an MVP, a Dwayne Wayne who's an all-timer, and Anthony Davis who I think will go down as a Hall of Fame caliber player and maybe the best player on this Lakers team. Seems that way so far. But 3 great players don't a city make, and the gap between those 3 and like an Isaiah Thomas, that's a 20-year gap. I personally would say in present day basketball, you can't really compare with Southern California that has the likes of, Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Paul George isn't really from LA, but close enough, right? Klay Thompson, Orange County, like we kind of go through it. But everyone says their hometown's the best. Their style of pizza is the best. What's funny is Chicagoans don't even like Chicago deep dish pizza. That's really more for tourists. Like a trick they play on us. They do like their hot dogs, Chicago style, which are terrific, but let's just be honest. End of the day, it's still a hot dog. But ask a guy from LA, what's the best hot dog? Oh, Dodger dogs. What's so special about Dodger dogs? They were at Dodger Stadium. It's the exact same hot dog served in other stadiums in the country. No, it's a Dodger dog. It says right there on the wrapper, Dodger dog. So he's put in the inevitable position of like, hey, would you ever like to play here? What? You ever thought about playing in Chicago, big boy? Here was his answer. Obviously, there's nothing like playing at home. I don't know. I mean, I am a free agent next year. We'll see. It's a possibility. That's what he said last night. So today, he did the old backtrack. I've never said I'm considering anything. I said I'm focused on a championship with the Lakers. And of course, everyone knows I'll be a free agent again next year. And I said, we'll see where it goes. And I'm not sure you actually helped yourself. Now, maybe you might think that that's just him being honest. You might think that that's just him being nice. You can be nice. You can be honest. But you can also say, I'm a Laker. We're trying to win a championship. The idea of playing anywhere other than LA right now, I can't even get into my brain. Because it took them half a year to get Anthony Davis from New Orleans to LA. It took them half a year. They traded away 3 starters, I think 4 draft picks. They basically ruined the second half of the season for the Lakers last year. They moved mountains to get him. And so far they're 5-1, and they appear to be pretty darn good. And you have the balls to say, like, I mean, I am a free agent. We'll see. It's a possibility. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? To make people in Chicago feel good? To make people in Chicago feel like they have a good basketball home? You can do that and simply say, like, hey, look, the Lakers did a lot to get me. I am really appreciative of Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka and Frank Vogel and Jason Kidd, the entire coaching staff, and what we're building here. Doesn't mean I don't love Chicago, but I play for the Lakers now. Right? Is that hard? Instead, you say something which really cuts at the fabric of what the Lakers are trying to build. They want to build it around you. And when you say, like, hey, we'll see what happens, you're doing that LeBron thing. And look, LeBron was able to get away with it in Cleveland, but he ruined the franchise, and he made it, what was it David Griffin called it? Miserable. He made it miserable. Because it's hard to get other free agents. It's hard to get people to commit long-term to staying with the Lakers if you're like, yeah, I'm with the Lakers now, but I'm a free agent, so we'll see. You know? I mean, either you are or you're in or you're not. And if you're not in, that's fine. But don't try and tell us, no, what I said was I'm focused on winning a championship with the Lakers. No, you didn't actually say that. You said there's nothing like playing at home. I don't know. I mean, I am a free agent at the end of next year. We'll see. It's a possibility. Where in that is the I'm focused on winning a championship? I missed that part. That's not the quote when you were asked about playing in Chicago. When you asked about playing in Chicago, you're like, we'll see. It's a possibility. Why would you do that? Why would you open up the door? That's like basic cross-examination 101. Don't say that. It opens the door. Up, he opened the door, Your Honor. Sorry. I look at this and I got to think that the Lakers are furious. The pursuit of Anthony Davis ruined their season last year, but they landed him and decided to build around him this year. Build around him. And they've said he's worth it. And this was what he wanted. I want to be in LA. I want to be a part of the Lakers. I want to play with LeBron. And it doesn't mean that this means he wants to leave or he'd even consider it, but why open that door? What is the win in opening that door? So a couple people in Chicago read it and think, you know, he's still one of our guys. You're still from Chicago. That will never change. You can still say, you dream of playing in Chicago one day. That will never change. But you're a member of the LA Lakers. You have LeBron James in your team. He's got a closing window of success. You want to be a part of it. That's a reasonable thing to say to anybody who you give a damn about what they think. Yes, Ryan Music.
Do you think Anthony Davis is sort of looking at what happened to Kyrie Irving, where Kyrie had the beginning of last year with Boston and like unprovoked sort of was just like, oh yeah, I'm re-signing at the end of the year. And then every time he sort of wavered on it, and as things sort of deteriorated down the road with the Celtics, it then became like, well, you said this back in November, And now you're saying things that don't sort of fall in line with that. And do you think Anthony Davis is looking at that situation going, if I don't necessarily commit to anything right now, then it can't be used down the road in the ways that it was done to Kyrie Irving?
I don't know. I mean, Kyrie said, if you'll have me, I'll resign. You don't have to go. There's a middle area between if you have me, I'll resign and, hey, I'm a free agent. Never know. We'll see. Right? There's a middle ground there. Look, this is just not that hard. This is the problem with these guys. I don't think they understand that the things they say, I mean, it can change an entire season. And you're like, man, this guy ain't all in on us.
Do you think that it has anything to do with maybe him not totally understanding, like being in New Orleans? They weren't necessarily always a super popular team because, they were usually out of the playoffs. And if they made it to the playoffs, they didn't advance very far. He was the only star on the team. And now that he's in a market like LA, playing for a team with the Lakers, with a star like LeBron James, this will be his first lesson towards like, dude, anything you say, the words are going to get, pulled, put out there and made into a talking point. Like I saw a quote from, and I can't remember which Laker reporter it was today, but before Anthony Davis talked to the press today, someone had quoted LeBron James walking by AD going, hey man, you know what they're about to ask you about right now. So do you think this is going to be a learning experience where Anthony Davis
I do think it's a learning experience, but I do think once you say something, you kind of said it, right? And he did this last year with the request to be traded, where first it was they gave him a couple of teams, then he was asked about it, and he's like, no, I'll play for one of 29 teams, which also didn't come out the way he wanted to come out. That was like, I'll play anywhere but here. Like, really? It's that bad? It's not that bad. Not that bad. And I think everyone understood his desire to try something new, to get to a better franchise, to get to a bigger market. Like, he'd been there 9 years. They'd had a lot of injuries. Some of them were his injuries. They've had a lot of turnover. They've had some turmoil. Like, got it, understood. But the way in which he handled it, like, okay, there's 4 places you want to play. Name them. Here, there, there, there. That's it. And then when he felt like he left a couple out, they were like, okay, well, I'll play for one of 29. I think this is a learning experience. What's going to happen is now he's not going to say anything. Which, again, you can say something and not say something, right? Tom Brady's done it for 2 decades. I mean, hell, even Aaron Rodgers, who somehow has caught some heat, for calling out his teammates for living a little bit, feeling themselves a little bit. Like, look, he's been pretty honest. There hasn't been that much pushback. Now, if you really want to play in Chicago, I can't, but I don't think he does. I don't think anybody actually believes he thinks that Chicago produces the best players or that he wants to play for Chicago Bulls. Bulls are not good. Anthony Davis will make them better. It won't put them on the brink of winning a championship. He's that close with the Lakers. He's played 6. My point is, he's played 6 games with the Lakers. 6. They've won 5. He's the focal point of everything they do, and they're pretty damn good. It's the team he wanted, the teammate he wanted, the franchise he wanted, the city he wanted. And even if he doesn't mean it, saying it makes a lot of people go like, are you kidding me with this guy? And then, by the way, it makes you think the whole league's like that, which it is. The whole league's like, show me some love or I'm going to go somewhere else. Do you know how I know that? Because that's what AAU kids do from their AAU coach. Show me some love. When they're getting recruited, I didn't get any love. You didn't come to my game. Cutting you off my list. I mean, they do that to their agents when they're coming out of college. Like, it's a ridiculous culture where they say these things that nobody calls them on. You said it, and it was awful. You can't go like, I'm a free agent. Never know. What are you doing? You're not. No one thinks you're going to go play from the Bulls and leave the Lakers. Nobody. And by the way, this whole idea, like, what have the Lakers done? They traded away everything except for Kuzma to get you. And they basically torpedoed last season to get you. They've done a lot. Hi, I'm Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, and you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel where you can hear and see me. Why not? Plus, everybody else who's awesome here in Fox Sports Radio.